Hello everyone, this is Tim, and this video is going to be sort of an update and just talk about a few things. I went out to Nebraska recently to hang out with my wife's family. She has some family in Nebraska and Long Island, New York. So we went out to Nebraska to hang out with her mom and dad. And over the week that I spent there, I filmed a few videos, but the memory card that was in the camera is in my wife's laptop, and she took it to work to look at all the photos and stuff. So it might be a couple days or so till I can get that off her and get the videos off there. Hopefully they turned out okay. I got to meet PhDnD, or Kirk, and I'll put a link down below of the video that he posted. I have a video of his that hopefully turned out okay. I gifted him a mega dungeon. Well, I guess it really was just like a surface level and two big level dungeons underneath it. But I spent some time with like cross-hatching, and I did it all in ink, so that was pretty fun. My father-in-law was like, "Wait a minute, that thing you've been drawing for like the last 2-3 days, you're gonna just give that away to somebody?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have anything else to give him. I like to give people things whenever I meet them. Like I met Black Barnes and I gave him some stuff. Uh, that just seems like a good thing to do. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to give people stuff." Especially when you give them more than they expect. They're like, "Whoa," they kind of makes them uncomfortable. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of weird for liking that, but I do. But anyway, I got to hang out with my father-in-law, mother-in-law. We brought Wes out there, and he had a great time. It was only the second time he got to meet his grandparents on that side of the family, so it's kind of sad that he doesn't get to see them more often, especially because they're just great people. They live on like a 6 or 7 acre I guess homestead that used to be a farm. They have some old buildings laying around. If my wife wasn't on the camera the whole time, I probably would have jumped in one of the silos or one of the old buildings and did some recording, but didn't work out that way. So I have a few videos to post over the next couple days, hopefully. I have some stuff to get caught up on, like all my play-by-post games, and I sort of disconnected myself from the internet for a week. Sort of unplugged myself from the matrix, and that was nice. I did some reading, I did some drawing, I just sort of hung out and relaxed a little bit. Another thing I got to do was I got to play some APBA sports games, like football, racing, and baseball. Now these are sort of like sports, realistic, tactical, like board games, I guess you would call them, but they have cards as well. But the dice mechanic in those games is pretty interesting, and it's been sort of bouncing around in my head. The last time I played those games there, probably about 2 years ago, it did the same thing. It's a dice mechanic unlike a lot of the other dice mechanics that you see in RPGs, and it just made me think, like, wow, this would be kind of a fun rules light dice mechanic that I could put into something. And it's I guess you would call it a D66, where you roll 2 6-sided dice. And the first one is colored, the other one is white. So the colored one is the tens, and the white one is the the singles, the single digits. So you can roll like 11 all the way up to 66, but it doesn't fill in all the gaps. So there's numbers that you cannot roll. Basically like 11 through 16, and then 21 through 26. 31 to 36, 41 to 46, 51 to 56, 61 to 66. And what was cool is that I pretty much gleaned from the rules that doubles are the best, and the ones on the extreme are usually the best, like 11 and 66 tended to be the best results on any of the cards that you would look up. And the APBA games are pretty chart heavy. You roll these dice, you look on your player card, maybe your quarterback. There's like pass, kick, run column, and then you check a chart to see what that is. But what I think I'm going to try to do with it is I'm going to have a chart of all the possible options, just 6 columns of 6 rows. And inside those boxes, I'm going to put like letters, like grades, like A+ down to F-. And there's going to be, I think I said, A+A, B+B, C+C, and those are going to be the standard successes. So So like a C is like the bare minimum success, and the A plus is obviously like I don't know, something like 5 or 6 successes in like a World of Darkness type game. And for the failures, I was going to have D, D minus, and then F minus. And F minus is kind of like a botch, I guess, in like a World of Darkness game. But it's all going to be in a chart. So I kind of figured that there could be 2 ways of doing this. There could be default numbers set up with default letters inside of them. Like if you don't feel like plugging these in, this is what you use. And that would probably be what the GM uses. Maybe different monsters would use different charts. And I also thought that you could have an empty box with perhaps just the doubles filled in. Like 11 would be A plus, 66 would be A plus, maybe 22 would be A, 55 would be an A, probably the other doubles would be A's as well. And, maybe where the F's would be, F minuses. I think 61 and 16 are on the corners of that chart. And that's the default ones I had set up. But I thought it would be kind of fun if you had certain numbers that you thought were your lucky numbers, because then you could plug in the best results for those numbers. So it, maybe you like the numbers that end in 4, or anything that starts with a 4 or has a 4 in it. So you can make those the best numbers. So if you roll the dice, you see a 4, it's going to be good. Maybe you want to fill in the bad letters in like the 6s or the 3s or what have you. So I figured that'd be 2 default ways of going about it. You can plug and play as you like. You can go with the default one if you want to save time. And I believe Talislanta does something like this, where it just has one chart, and that's pretty much all you really need. And that's what I was thinking about doing. Some optional ways of manipulating the dice came to mind. Maybe something like luck points, fate points, something like that, where you can switch the numbers, you can bump the number up, bump the number down. The first number can be, you can bump it over a column or over another column. So that part of it might have a little bit of a gamey feel to it, a gamist feel to it. But, something like feats or talents, something like that, where you can manipulate the dice roll in certain ways. And maybe at advanced levels, you can manipulate it in 2 or 3 ways if you spend the points for it. And I'm sure there are some that would be better than others. Like, for instance, a good one I thought of would be, maybe spend, a bunch of luck points and you get to the closest double possible to whatever you rolled. So if you rolled like a 21, then a 22 would be the closest. Or if you maybe you rolled like an 18, 22 would be closest. So things like that. Just ways to manipulate the dice, switch them around. If you rolled like a 31, you could have a 13 if that was a good number on your chart. So I thought it would be kind of cool for individual feelings, like your number 44s are good, but my number 44s, that's the worst roll I can make. I don't know. It's just something that popped into my head. I just like it. I know it's chart heavy. People don't seem to like looking on a chart. Like, that's bad RPG form, but I don't know. It just it appeals to me. I don't really know why. That mechanic just sort of jumped in my head and it won't leave. So I think I have to do something about it. It'll probably just be some sort of free download that, like all the other stuff I usually do. So the D66 mechanic has been bouncing around my head. And I thought I'd started out with about 20 default successes and 16 default failures. But there's different degrees of success, like I talked about. Like C is a minor, just bare minimum success. A plus is great. Like a D is just bare minimum failure, where like an F minus is like a botch. So I like that it wasn't just binary. It had a little bit of gradients to it, depending on how you rolled. So I don't know. That's been bouncing around my head a lot. I thought maybe like level up mechanics, you could have an upgrade, maybe like a half step or a half grade. You can go from like a C to a C plus in one of the columns. You just erase it. So obviously you want to fill this in pencil. You could, turn a failure into a minimum success. So like a D could go to a C minus, something like that. And I've also thought about difficulties, where the default difficulty, sort of like 6s are the default in Old World of Darkness, the default difficulty could be a C. But if it's a harder task, you could say something like, well, you're going to need to get a B plus on this roll to successfully jump that crevice, something like that. So it's something that's bouncing around in my head. I don't really know how I would do classes if I'm going to do classes. I'm thinking it'll probably be classless. It might be really rules light, maybe more rules light than I'm maybe even comfortable running most of the time, but it's something I'm going to have to think about. It's kind of nice to tinker on mechanics and things that may never see the light of day. I've had at least 3 or 4 RPGs that I've made over the years, and I even forget that I made them. Sometimes I'll be going through old RPG paper boxes and like, oh, I forgot I even did this. Oh wow, this is a house ruled version of 3rd edition D&D without classes and without feats and without attack of opportunities. Wow, I forgot I even made this. Or like my Old World or Darkest Midnight setting hack that I made. I didn't remember about that for a long time until I bumped into it. So I have a lot of these little projects that if like I die and someone goes through all of my old RPG boxes, they're gonna be like, wow, this guy did all this crazy stuff. He must have had a lot of free time because he just he would work on something for a while and then just put it away and apparently forget about it, But oh well. So I had a good time. I played a lot of games with my father-in-law, which was a good time, a lot of fun. I'm thinking about picking up the APBA football game. I'll put a link down there below in case you want to check out their website. They were originally based out of Pennsylvania too. I didn't realize that till this year when I looked at the outside of the box and it said Lancaster, PA. I think they said that they're going to move though. I just looked at their site a little while ago. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully I'll have some more videos coming out in the near future. And for those that are in my Lamentations of the Flame Princess game, hopefully that'll start being ran again soon. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys later.